Bad toilet paper, bad. Hello, my little hummingbirds. I thought I would just go ahead and film this video really quick here. So I uploaded about 12 My Little Pony coloring book pictures that I painted that I did. And they're going to be showing for the next 3 months. But before I show those off, I thought I would just let everyone know and show everyone how an adult can actually use and color in a children's coloring book. And the best thing to do is to use this. I was actually, my niece, who's handicapped and doesn't have fine motor coordination, she really liked the fact that I would color in a coloring book page. And she liked the pages that I colored the most. And so I actually took a SpongeBob coloring book and I was going to color each and every last page. This was actually her favorite book for me to read to her. And when I ended up coloring in 1 or 2 pages, she would always turn to those pages specifically and she would point at them. So I decided, why not just get the coloring book itself and actually just color it in. And I never managed to accomplish that because, you know, of demands on my time. But I thought I would just go ahead and show this off, you know, show everyone what you can actually do when you're an adult with a children's coloring book. Now, a children's coloring book is made out of really cheap newsprint paper. But I ended up finding out that you can use acrylic. This is, what is it? Artist's Loft. This is Artist's Loft and Apple Barrel. This is mainly Apple Barrel acrylic paint that I used on this cheap newsprint children's coloring book paper. And what I did first was I actually shellacked it more or less with Mod Podge. I actually shellacked it first with Mod Podge. And that's the amazing thing. If you shellac it with Mod Podge, or if you water down acrylic paint, you know, the Apple Barrel Craft acrylic paint, and you water it down to the point where it's a rather milky kind of consistency, it's really translucent, you can actually paint over this newsprint paper and it will actually strengthen the newsprint paper, because the newsprint paper is extremely absorbent. It's kind of like a sponge. In fact, it's so porous and fibrous that it literally is like a sponge, and so it'll absorb all that paint, or all that, in this case, all that Mod Podge, and it will actually strengthen the paper and make it really strong and make it perfect for putting, you know, colored pencil on, in this case, acrylic. And actually, you can actually paint directly onto the paper with acrylic paint like I did on this side. And it'll come out absolutely beautifully. This, since obviously the acrylic paint ended up blurring the black outlines and whatnot, I was going to go over this with colored pencil and just redo the outlines. Also, I haven't tried, what is it, alcohol-based marker on this, but I wouldn't be surprised if you can actually reinforce a regular coloring book page like this with alcohol, you know, with acrylic paint, and then, or actually Mod Podge, and then color over the top of it with alcohol-based marker. So I bet you that would be really interesting to try out. I don't have any of those alcohol-based markers currently. I don't have the finances to be able to get my hands on that now any longer. But I thought I would just show this off and let everyone know about this. Let me see if I can find, because I actually did this in, let me put this away real fast. I actually did this in acrylics like here. And then I know that I tried watercolors on it once, and watercolors did not work out. That was a really, really bad choice. Obviously, you know, Crayola crayons work fantastic, especially if you take Crayola crayons and sharpen them to a fine point. That works really well. This is, I don't know, let me see if this shows up. I hope it's not glaring. Yeah, it's not glaring too bad. But this right here is what you can do with, let me just take it out of the little protective sleeve. This is what you can do with Crayola crayons if you actually take like a regular pencil sharpener. you know, a little handheld pencil sharpener. And if you sharpen the crayons to a very fine point. This was actually one of the first pictures in the other coloring book that I colored for my niece, and she liked it so much that I decided to try to replicate it. Believe it or not, this isn't anywhere near as good as the original, you know, coloring book page that I did for her, even though I ended up coloring in the background on this one. But this is what you can do as an adult with regular everyday colored, you know, Crayola crayons and whatnot. So I thought I would go ahead and show that off. And let me see here. As I'm putting this away, I'll actually tell you about how I end up, as an adult, coming onto the miraculous and, I think, soul healing and just mind healing. And for me, it's even been body healing. Yeah, this is more crayon. Let me see. Anyway, I ended up finding out the miraculous healing nature of coloring books and crayons because, let me see, when I was a young adult, stuff was going really, really bad. And my sister ended up telling my now ex-brother-in-law that, you know, I was an artist. And what ended up happening was that, oh, this is what I wanted to show. I really loved how I ended up doing SpongeBob's hair here. This is also crayons that I did this with. But I really liked it quite a lot. I liked this quite a lot. But what ended up happening was that the whole family ended up being snowed in at my brother-in-law's place, and there was no food and there was virtually no water. And it was really, really bad. We were stuck there for, we were stuck there for at least 3 to 5 days. I can't even remember now. It was bad. And no one could get out. He couldn't even get to his job. It was horrific. There was no leaving that place. And his sister had decided to clean out a box of her stuff. And what ended up happening, I'm really proud of this one. I really like the neon rainbow and the ridiculous costumes. I can't tell which I like better, you know, the starfish's costume. I can't remember, Patrick, I guess, the starfish, or SpongeBob's hair, you know. Anyway, I ended up sitting at the kitchen table, and his sister had cleaned out a box of her old stuff that she was going to give to charity, and he ended up just kind of tossing, he ended up handing me a coloring book and her color crayons and leftover markers and whatnot that she had, and I ended up sitting there and just coloring and coloring and coloring, and it ended up being surprisingly healing to me. Surprisingly healing. Okay, yeah, so this is the one page that I did using markers of some kind, and they had to have been water-based markers. I'm positive it was water-based markers, but this, I ended up doing markers on this, and it leaked pretty badly, but not too terribly onto the other side. But yeah, so I just want to tell everyone about the absolutely miraculous healing nature of coloring books, because when I was a child, coloring books were just my escape. I absolutely loved them. I colored up everything I could with the crayons that I had, and just it was just wonderful. And then to be handed a coloring book and crayons as an adult, it was, you know, very weird, you know. But he didn't understand what being an artist meant. You know, he was like, "Oh well, here's a coloring book and crayons." He didn't get it, you know. But what I was absolutely shocked about is that he actually handed me a gift, because I was beside I couldn't go to work. I couldn't do anything. You know, there was absolutely no, we couldn't even go out to the store to get a meal. So there was, you know, I was at, you know, strangers' home, and it's not like I could eat their food. And so, I mean, it was just all around bad. So it's not like I could even go out and be able to get myself like a burger or something. I mean, there was absolutely nothing. So what ended up happening was that I ended up sitting there and just coloring for like 3 days straight. I just colored and colored and colored, you know, or however, maybe it was 5 days. I can't even recall at this point. Anyway, these images right here, I use colored pencil. This is Prismacolor pencil. you know, obviously, and this, I did not shellac the page. This is just the raw newsprint. This coloring book, children's coloring book newsprint pages, they are actually thicker and better than the cheap throwaway newsprint pages that you will get for, you know, art class. You know, those huge pads of newsprint paper. That's really cheap paper. That's really crappy. But this children's newsprint paper, it's actually better than that, not by much, but it is better enough so that I was able to use Prismacolor pencils on it. And I just thought I would show everyone that. So, you know, I strongly suggest to everyone, absolutely everyone out there, you know, especially if you're an adult, and especially if you ever liked art or coloring in coloring books, or ever even considered yourself an artist or wanted to be an artist, literally get a children's coloring book, you know, or just grab one of your kids' coloring books, or nieces or nephews, and just color in them. And believe it or not, I remember my babysitter. I had a babysitter when I was very young. I still love her to this day. Her name was Joey, and she babysat me. And every last picture that she colored for me, that she drew for me, I loved, to the point where I don't know how or where I managed to save a couple of her pictures. And that was just so precious to me. That is still precious to me to this day. I think I actually have 2 of her pictures that she colored for me. And I tried to leave one of those gifts for my niece in her coloring book, but what was it? Her stepdad or whatever. I think it was her stepdad ended up stopping me. He was like, "Oh no, you're coloring in her coloring book," and I was like, "No, I'm leaving her a present," but he didn't understand. So, but anyway, definitely, you know, you can see what can be done with, you know, Prismacolor colored pencils, and you don't have to be an artist. You would be really surprised what you're able to accomplish as an adult in these children's mediums. You know, obviously you can do a whole lot better job than you did when you were a child, and whether you accomplish a better job or not, that doesn't really matter. You'd be really surprised at how healing this stuff can be, and how cathartic and just refreshing, and just, I mean, all kinds of levels of soothing. And so I strongly suggest to anyone out there, definitely pick up, you know, a coloring book or 2 and just color it. Color it. And you will be really, really surprised at the results that you get. And just to go along with that, if anyone wants to watch me actually color, these are the coloring books that I have currently. I have the SpongeBob one. I have this Lisa Frank super size coloring and activity book, Dancing Dolphins. I really kind of like that. I have, let me see, I have this Disney one, The Power of a Princess. I kind of like this. I was wanting to copy pictures out of this and kind of augment them. But I wouldn't mind trying to color these pictures. I don't know how well that would do because they're not as open and as wide. I like nice, wide, and open. Let me see. I like really large areas to color. Kind of like, you know, this SpongeBob. This is very simplistic, and it's open to lots of shading, which is why I like this the best. So something like this I like a lot better than something that's really, you know, this is kind of nice and large, but this has a whole lot of fine details and a whole lot of little things. But if you'd like to watch me color something in here, or, you know, color something in this SpongeBob, or say this Lisa Frank, or even I have this really Ancient Precious Moments. Now this I like a lot because it's really simplistic. In fact, this is so simplistic it's actually getting along the lines of a little too simplistic for me. But I like this too. This is like 2 coloring books in one. One is Angels and one is Noah's Ark. And then there's this My Little Pony coloring book that I picked, that I copied, or actually I took a lot of pages out of, and I colored in. See, Twilight Sparkle. I finally learned their names by now. And Applejack, and I'm not sure, Pinkie Pie maybe, I'm not sure. Princess Celestia. So, yeah. There we go, another Twilight Sparkle and Spike the Dragon. I love Spike the Dragon. I liked him. I think he was my favorite character. I managed to actually get to watch like 2 or 3 episodes of My Little Pony. So, Rainbow Dash. I loved Rainbow Dash's hair. That was my favorite thing. Rainbow Dash was my favorite because of her hair. But, yay, Rainbow. Lightning fast. I'm kind of like her. When I was young, I used to love speed. Now I'm so old that I can't do speed no matter how much I want to. But yeah, if you want to see me color in any of these coloring books, just let me know. Leave a comment below in this video or on any of the My Little Pony videos that are going to be showing here in the next 3 months. And I'll definitely be willing to sit down and color in these things. And maybe I'll even try doing a live stream of sorts where I don't do any editing at all. I just color it, and it's not a speed paint. I just sit there and color, you know. And if you want, you can choose the medium too. You can, I'll do acrylic. Oh, I also found out, as you'll find out in watching the My Little Pony videos, I found out that this paper is excellent for oil pastels. Literally, it's excellent for crayons and oil pastels. I was absolutely shocked about that. In fact, I consider this newsprint medium far better for oil pastels than even for colored pencil, which I think is the next best medium, or you know, or crayons. So believe it or not, I think oil pastel outperforms crayons when it comes to this. So anyway, there you go. There's an adult take on actually the newsprint and just coloring books themselves and the mediums that can work in coloring books. So yeah. Of course, I do want to say there is a caveat to the colored pencil. You do need a colored pencil that is very, very wax-based and waxy and easy to blend, such as Prismacolor, something like Praying, or even maybe Crayola colored pencils. Those might not work. They might be too sharp and hard to be able to actually do anything but tear the page up. But oil pastels should work no matter what. Crayons obviously work. And believe it or not, acrylics work too. So there you go. So yeah, that's it. That's it for now. So thank you for coming and watching this video. And I hope that you end up enjoying the videos to come. And if you want me to actually color in any of these coloring books in any way, here I'll turn the lights off so there won't be so much of a glare. But if you want me to color in any of these coloring books in any way, then let me know and tell me what medium I should use if you even have a preference. If you don't have a preference, that's fine. I'll use whatever I want to. More than likely it's going to be crayons or even possibly, you know, Prismacolor pencils. But if you want me to use a specific medium, then let me know. And yeah, that's it for now. And from SpongeBob and me, happy, happy, happy. So yeah, Nanu, Nanu, as in a handshake, live long and prosper. And remember, laughter and happiness save lives. And remember what Mr. Rogers said, it's you I like, it's every part of you. It's your soul, it's your core, it's your heart, it's you. And hummingbirds unite. Bye. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye.